Hello everybody, Backyard Bullion here, and a very warm welcome to you all joining me for an upcoming auction news video. I'd like to welcome a new sponsor to the channel in the form of Sovereign Rarities, who reached out to me to see if I'd be interested in helping promote some of their upcoming auctions. And they've got two absolute stunners of collections coming up on the 19th of November. We have first the Highcliff Collection, which is what we're going to focus on in today's video, and then there will be a Sovereign Rarities and Royal Mint General Auction featuring the Workman Collection of pennies and plenty of other modern numismatic classics as well. That will feature in a separate video in a couple of days' time, so make sure you subscribe if you want to see some of the stunners in that collection. But for right now, we're going to look at the Highcliff Collection. It is an incredible array of historic medallions and medals that really do exemplify parts of numismatic history. And we as modern day collectors, if we do collect these and are lucky enough to get them in our collections, can only but be custodians of the history of engravings when it comes to medals and coins. They are stunning, they are incredible, they are parts of history, and as you can see with some of the reserve prices and starting bids and current bids, they are not just pieces of metal and silver, they are pieces of history, and that's what we as collectors can look at and really celebrate, I think, if we are on this sphere of influence when it comes to collecting medallions. So you can find all the links down in the description box below to this particular listing. You'll have to register with Sovereign Rarities, of course, to bid. You then log in and you can start bidding. The auction itself will be on Tuesday the 19th of November at 10:30 in the morning, 2024. This particular auction has 55 lots in it. There is estimates ranging from £100 to £6,000. So there is something for everybody, even if you're at the lower end of the scale, to start your collection on these types of medallions, and then real specialist pieces of history, of course, at the top end. So you can see, having a quick scan through here, there are absolutely incredible pieces with incredible bits of history. I mean, this one strikes me as something that's an incredibly cool, valuable piece that, with an estimate of £250 to £350, current bid of £240. It is important to remind you quickly before we just jump in and wax lyrical about how amazing this looks, that all of their auction lots do have a 20% buyer's premium on top. So that means if you bid £100, you'll pay £120 plus VAT on the £20 on top. So you'll pay here's my maths, it's £124 in total. There'll probably be some postage on top of that. So it's important to remember that those additionals do add up, and you need to factor that in when making what your bid will be. So for myself, I have been thinking of late about kind of legacy collections. You know, I have a lot of nice bullion products that one day will just be liquidated simply with a dealer or through my own means. That's fine. But I just love the idea of getting back to some of the reasons why I started collecting in the first place, which is being that custodian of a bit of history. And something to commemorate the coronation of William IV in 1831, that's pretty cool. And who knows, in 2031, there might be a product that comes out that celebrates that coronation, and this will be then a wise and sound investment. That is not investment advice, I want that to be abundantly clear. But the point is that these are pieces of history, and we can be custodians of those pieces of history. We don't have to spend thousands of pounds on pieces to really know and see that piece of history. But it is, I think, a really interesting part of the world of coin collecting and numismatic medallion collecting. So, now with all that said, there are a few other auction lots I just want to very quickly look at. Which one was it first? This one here. Wow. This is something very special indeed. A British Empire medal commemorating South African War of 1901. Now, we're going to put politics and history on the British Empire and things to one side. We can't change the past, but we can admire the history of numismatic engraving. And this, made over 100 years ago, is absolutely stunning in its level of detail and its intricacies, and it's just pure beauty. We cannot but ignore that. It is very, very cool indeed. And what really got me was the fact that it's a massive piece, nearly 10 centimetres to 103 millimetres wide, 499 grams of silver. This is a big chunky piece and has some incredible provenance behind it as well, dating all the way back to 1956 when it was in the Royal Baldwin Collection, accompanied by Royal Baldwin's ticket stating the medal was purchased from Baldwin and Sons in 1956 for £10. Goodness me, what a big increase in value that has seen over the years. Of course, things were a bit different in pounds, pennies and pence back then. But still, the point is that this is a piece of history. It's an incredible piece to boot. So that's very cool. Then there was this one, the opening of the Suez Canal. That's another very popular one that, you know, it's changed the world, the opening of the Suez Canal. It really did. It really just brought the world a lot closer together. It was the start of the modernization of the shipping industries. Instead of having to go round the Horn of Africa, you could just go through the Mediterranean much easier, much better, much quicker, and it really brought the world a lot closer together. That's a pretty cool part of history. Capture of Morro Castle, Havana, 1763. This one, starting bid as we can see, £4,000. This is one of the top end coins with the medallions. I'm sorry, I knew I'd say it at some point. For those who've watched my channel a long time, you'll know that I get round things that look like coins. They're coins in my brain. Anyway, medallions. This one, starting bid of £4,000 for a piece of history like this is absolutely incredible. And you've got to again think, this is 250 odd years old. This dates older, even more than 250 in fact, older than the history of the United States in its modern form. That's how amazing this piece of history can be, and this is very, very cool indeed. It sort of harks back to how we've evolved as civilizations, as Western cultures in that history, and it's commemorating that. And as I said earlier, I'm going to hark back to this subject of being custodians of history whilst we own these. It does make you think about where things might be in that long term, in another 100 years, 200, 300 years from now, from us. Will we see something like this? I mean, you just don't get these kind of things made anymore. I know I sound like an old man waxing lyrical about the world, but they just don't make them like they used to. And we are seeing modern reproductions of things like the Great Engravers series, and that, I think, is evidence enough that perhaps some of the things that we're making here today might not ever reach the same haughty heights that we see from 200 plus years ago. Maybe there'll be some timeless classics in 200 years' time, but you got to think, considering this is 1851, the level of detail that they were able to produce these in is second to none. Really very special, very unique, very different, and of course a lot more exclusive than coins. Coins made for production would have wear, would have, you know, different looks to them, and it just, you know, these are something different and special. So I hope that's kind of given you a bit of an overview of what's on offer in this particular auction. I mean, look at this Golden Jubilee medallion of Queen Victoria. You didn't see, oh my goodness, it's just incredible. You didn't see something like this for the Queen. We saw a coin for the Queen. We saw coins produced for the Queen. Modern world reproductions of perhaps designs come close to this, but you don't get this ever in modern coin production. Wow. Does make me think actually about some of these. You know, being a custodian of history is something I'm really passionate about when it comes to coin collecting. It's kind of what I always had in my mind. I liked the story of things. You know, this was made in 1887. Was it presented? It was presented to whoever it was presented to, and then they kept it for 130, 40 years now, all the way through to this modern world. Pretty amazing, really, to think about that story, about that history, about that provenance. So yes, I am waxing lyrical, and you'll have to excuse me about that. Let me know down in the comment section if any of these have caught your eye and fancy. As I said, there are some things in here that represent an incredible piece of history, and you don't have to spend £100,000 to be part of that history. There are some that are cheaper. You see here, £200 to £300 for parts of history. It's really very special indeed, and worth checking out. You never know, there might be something that speaks to you, and there might be something that you then would like to pick up for your collection. Anyway, that's it from me. A huge thank you to Sovereign Rarities for their sponsorship of this video. We are going to be doing a video on their Workman collection of pennies. This has got some old school hammered coins, ancient coins in there, all the way up to some of their modern, or some of the modern classics. Here we go, I think it was on page 17 I saw some, maybe it was page 16. Here we go. I'm sort of eking into that, but there are some, for example, modern day proof coins, which are stunning bits and pieces. So well worth checking out. We're going to do a proper focus on that video in the next one. So subscribe if you want to see more about those and some of the picks of things that I might be having a sneaky bid on, because there are definitely things in that second auction that I would like. I might even consider going back and having a bit of a sneaky bid on some of these in here. There was the coronation coin that I saw that I really liked. So for those Backyard Bullion Ramblers and Cool Kids Club members, where's the one that I really liked? Was it on page 2? I think it was. I'm going to get you to all quote me the auction lot of this. And I did this last time. I didn't win the other coin that I wanted to bid on here, this one, the Coronation of William. I didn't win the other coin because I told you all that I was going to bid on it. I'm going to maybe give this one a sneaky bid because I do like it. I think it's very cool and very special, and it might be the first coin, I've done it again, the first medallion in my collection. We'll see. So whilst I'm sure Sovereign Rarities will take this with a pinch of salt, don't bid on this because I want to buy it, maybe. We'll see. We'll see if I win it, of course. I mean, we'll have to take a punt, maybe. But anyway, that's it from me. If you're in the Cool Kids Club, quote me lot 29, Coronation of William IV, 1831. And then I'll know that you're super extra special cool. Thank you very much all for watching. We'll see you on the next video. As always, please make sure that you like, share, comment, and subscribe for more.